Hi, this is Oz, and this is Piece of Drawing 4. I'm still in the process of figuring out the best way to do these. I'm not really good at either reading or coming up with things on the fly, so please try to be patient. So I wrote a little bit of a script this time, and I'm going to try to mostly follow it, but go off of it a little bit. I hope to get better lighting for this setup one day, and maybe get a new computer so I can do HD videos, but for now this is what we have to work with. So I'm sorry about that, but hopefully, it'll continue to improve. So for this one, I wanted to explore a different type of drawing, and because I think like a lot of people who do art, I fall into a rut. Part of my rut, the reason I got into, I think, drawing, I always liked animation, cartoons, things like that. And the reason I stayed with that, big part of it was cheap. I found paper. I use smooth Bristol paper. I use micron pens and India ink a lot, and it's fairly cheap, and I like it. But when I look at my body work sometimes, I see that there's things that I really like to draw, and I have I'm not exaggerating, I probably have 50 or 100 drawings, all the same size, of landscapes around here, usually hills, mountains in the Appalachian. There's some variety, but in general they're very similar. So today I'm just trying to do something a little bit different. It's an abstract piece. I'm using the cheapest markers I can find. I think the pack was like $1. Usually I'm pretty particular about the quality of the things that I work with, but since good markers are kind of expensive, and I don't do stuff with markers that often, I wasn't ready to drop like $40 or $50 for a good Prismacolor set. I think it would make a difference, both in how the colors hold up over time, but this will work just okay for what I'm doing. So when I started out, I knew I wanted to do something abstract, but I didn't really have an agenda. I just started drawing how I felt. And I quickly realized there was this orange kind of ball of anxiety that was pulsating inside of me. I felt that describing the anxiety and feelings in this way is more real than trying to use words, which to me is like kind of, the images are more direct. Translating things into words is like you have to go into a couple of extra steps, I feel, and you get things that of course people are going to interpret colors different ways. I can't say that the way I feel orange is the same way other people feel orange, but I feel that words are problematic in their tendency to be, how should I say, interpreted and misinterpreted in so many ways. It's kind of a strange thing for somebody who writes a lot of poetry to say. But anyway, there it is. I'm trying to draw this feeling the best I can. I'm using lines to convey the kind of energy, so it's a lot of short, unsettled, sharp lines, because it's not a static feeling. It shouldn't be like a static feeling image. I also start to intersperse some other ideas as I'm drawing, and it makes it not an exactly abstract piece, but more symbolic. I didn't set out to do that, but I wasn't like strictly set on only being abstract. So I have these little dots, I have these kind of triangular symbols that I'm drawing. I've spent a lot of time, I really like art brut, tribal art, things that have very strong imagery, a lot of times kind of cartoon or iconic kind of imagery. Tribal art does a lot of times. Art brut, people who are not traditionally trained, comic art. I think there's something about it to me that speaks to me that's very direct. You know, having a really strong symbol to me is more powerful than having something that, you know, that's a sunset or something that is, you know, a landscape that's almost photorealistic or impressionistic. I'm not saying like it's better or worse, it's just my own personal choice and my things that speak to me a little bit more. So the colors I'm using here, orange and colors close to orange. For me, orange is very energetic, but it's also earthy. I'm also using red. Red is a less grounded color for me. It feels less grounded. Very energetic. It's not a color I'm usually very fond of because I feel like it's a little bit too powerful. Sometimes a little bit too overwhelming. Kind of like how if you would go outside on a really bright sunny day in Seattle, it's like the sun hurts your eyes. It's so oppressive. So purple to me is also a color, you know, that's kind of on the other side of orange. I mean, the other side of red, similar to orange. Although, you know, so it's more rounded, a little bit not as overpowering. But for me, it's something that has sort of an ethereal quality. I think blue can be something that is very calming, but it's also something, you know, especially when it's associated with the body, it's a little bit sickly. So to me, that's how purple feels, and the reason why I'm using it. So I'm trying the best I can to draw the emotion that I'm feeling. And like I said, I'm straying a little bit with the iconic references, but like I mentioned before, I don't think there's one right way to draw. This is just, these are the preferences, these are the ways, the things that I'm drawn to, and this is my process. And that's really all I wrote down to say. I hope this all makes sense. You know, I don't usually like to sign my work. I thought it'd be funny if I, you know, maybe instead of thinking of titles, just wrote numbers. And since I like produce so much work, I think this would be like number 37,892 because I'm 37 years old, since I draw so much work. I guess that's about it. I want to thank you for listening. If you want to comment, I really appreciate comments, and or if not, that's okay too. I'm hoping to continue to improve these videos. I want to, in the future, I'm thinking of like doing one that's based on a comic, maybe something to do with the process of doing something in Flash. I want to do one on different mediums, things that I've explored, like coffee, ink, maybe encaustic. And then I maybe want to start some that are more focused on specific lessons and ideas. Those are just my ideas for now. I'm trying to do one of these a month, interspersed with a lot of other projects that I'm putting up on this channel. So yeah, thank you.